Good morning, everybody. My name is Chief Bill Scott with the San Francisco Police Department. At approximately 2:27 this morning, San Francisco police officers were dispatched. When the officers arrived on scene, they encountered an adult male and Mr. Pelosi's husband, Paul. Our officers observed Mr. Pelosi and the suspect both holding a hammer. The suspect pulled the hammer away from Mr. Pelosi and violently assaulted him with it.
Hello and welcome to Unsolved Mysteries. Tonight's mystery might lead to uncovering corruption to the very highest levels of our government. But if you're brave enough, join me, maybe you can help solve a mystery. Our story begins with this man, Paul Pelosi. Fresh off a DUI, Paul was recently attacked by a man with a hammer. But that's where the story gets strange. Some reports say the attacker was looking for this woman, Nancy Pelosi. No, that's not his mother, that is his wife. And she just happens to be Speaker of the House. And that's where the story gets shrouded with mystery. As soon as the very second the story came out, conspiracy theories started immediately. It didn't help the news told different accounts.
You know, there have been a lot of the reports have indicated sort of how police got there and they witnessed the beating at the time. And there seems to be a hint that there was a third person in the house. You've got some new details on that as well, Tom. What can you tell us?
Well, that's correct, Chuck. So the police chief came out and did a press conference later on Friday when most people had already started to go to bed on the East Coast. And in that press conference, he stated that there was a third person inside the house that opened the door for police when they were called to that house. And that's when they saw the struggle over the hammer between DePepe and Pelosi. And then DePepe, according to police, struck Pelosi in the head with that hammer.
Even though they tried to delete it, the news changed the story of how many people were in the Pelosi home.
What unfolded in the Pelosi residence, now revealing when officers responded to the high-priority call, they were seemingly unaware they'd been called to the home of the Speaker of the House. After a knock and announce, the front door was opened by Mr. Pelosi. The 82-year-old did not immediately declare an emergency or try to leave his home, but instead began walking several feet back into the foyer toward the assailant and away from police. It's unclear if the 82-year-old was already injured or what his mental state was, say sources. According to court documents, when the officer asked what was going on, defendant smiled and said everything's good. But instantaneously, a struggle ensued as police clearly saw David DePape strike Paul Pelosi in the head with a hammer. After tackling the suspect, officers rushed to Mr. Pelosi.
People starting asking questions, like how did the attacker get past all this security? And why does it look like the attacker broke windows from inside the house? Nothing made sense, so the media asked the neighbors what they thought.
From your time with him, did you get the sense that he may do something wrong?
Yeah.
When the first person didn't know how words worked, they asked a different neighbor.
The entire household is very, very strange.
How about him?
He is birds of a feather with akin to them. So they are just, nudist drug abusers, and that's who gravitates toward them.
When more facts about the case started being released, it started looking less like a break-in and more like a gay sex party gone wrong.
After spending several days in the ICU, Pelosi, who is recovering from a fractured skull and serious injuries to his arm and hand, is now home, where Capitol Police remain on alert. Investigators have previously said Pelosi did not know DePape when the 42-year-old broke into his home. Why Pelosi didn't try to flee or tell responding officers he was in distress is unclear.
Since police won't release the security footage, no one knows what really happened. Was this an attack on democracy, or two gay guys arguing about butt stuff? If you know anything about this case, please call Unsolved Mysteries